Hello, everyone. So, Vagrein is going to come through today with some channeling. I'm super excited. Things have been, hold on. I got something popping up here. Hold on. All right. So, things have been really exciting lately in that we just got back from the Vagrein retreat. I mentioned that on Friday of last week, and it was amazing. All the participants had a wonderful time. I had a wonderful time. It was a lot of work, and probably in the future I wouldn't add in as many of the extras as I added in, because I did sort of push the envelope of my ability to serve in terms of my energy. But really, it's been amazing, and the whole thing has really shot myself into doing more and more, which is fun. And again, a season. I don't pressure myself anymore to be productive because I know that I have seasons where I'm super productive and other seasons where I'm not productive. But it looks like I'm in this really productive space this week. So I'm taking advantage of it. I don't really get worried that I'm going to get burnt out because I know eventually I'm going to get to a state where I'm in a relaxed state and then I'm just going to chill. So for the moment, this is what's going on. I mentioned in the last live that I was planning on doing a couple of more events. Now, 100% sure is the London event, which is going to be on July 23rd. So that's in London, England. If you're in England, if you're in London, especially if you're in Europe, consider coming out to London and joining me for the one-day Vagrein event that I'm hosting there. I'm working on getting the venue together. I'm working on making it really cool and intimate and very British. It's going to be super exciting. So the tickets are already available for that on my website. It's www.jpherman.com/events to jump in and get tickets for that. So I'd love to see you there. There are only 28 tickets, I believe, left of the total 33 that I'm making available because I want to keep it small and intimate and so I can actually interact with everyone during the pause, and perhaps afterwards we'll see what happens if we throw a party onto the end of that. What else is going on? I'm also in the works for setting up a New York event, potentially August 7th, and a Toronto event, which is potentially August 15th, I believe. So a couple of conversations have to happen around that. Looking again for venues. So if you guys are in New York City or Toronto and you know of a very small venue that is not going to break the budget, there's so many gorgeous places that are like thousands of dollars per hour. One day in another season when Vagrein's a lot more popular, I'll be able to provide that sort of experience to you guys. But for the moment, looking at something intimate and small and delightful. So if you're in New York or London, do let me know about any venues that you have in mind. In terms of this particular session, I'm super excited because right before this morning, I believe, I put out a post in the YouTube community page here on my channel. And I asked you guys if you had any questions, and a couple of you came back and did ask your questions. So I'm going to read off the ones that I looked at here that maybe Vagrein's going to think about responding to. And if you do have a question, you didn't see that post, just pop it in the chat and I'll read those as well. And then we'll see what Vagrein has to say. So the first question here is about law of attraction. And it says, I would like to ask if the law of attraction can work against what we want in our lives. I set some intentions last year that 2024 will be the year of living a fulfilling life with traveling, meeting people, some work projects. And then in the beginning of the year, I manifested some health issues and and seem I can't get out of this loop. So I believe you are actually here on the call. So let's see. Yes. Hi, Olinda. Okay. And we'll see if that gets answered. Next question is it possible to shed some light on the 3 days of darkness, separation, surrender, quiet? Thank you. I don't know what that is. Maybe Vagrein does. Right. Okay, so maybe that's just something that some people are calling into their experience. No idea. Maybe Vagrein will mention something. And then Starlit Sky asks a personal question about connections. So they say they're not in touch with this particular connection anymore, but still feel the energy around them all the time. Don't feel energetically supported in the decision to disconnect. Connection was powerful and guided in its initiation, taking huge effort to break off. They were hoping with time and energies will resolve and clarify, but it's been over a year and seems stagnant. How can I break free? Could Vagrein provide any clarity on this situation? And then in a note, there's the connection triggered was a doubt in guidance. Okay, so anyone can go ahead and read the rest of this question, but basically they feel betrayed by their own higher self and shook their faith. Okay, so interesting, this question. I like this one, and perhaps Vagrein will respond. And also Heart of Living said they had a similar thing going on. So that will serve more than one person. And honestly, I find it hard pressed to find someone in our collective right now who hasn't got some sort of strange relationships or questions about relationships with some special, I don't know, person who is out there who they have had some sort of catalytic or tumultuous relationship with and then don't understand why that energy doesn't clear. So that's a great question too. And, it does tune into the whole twin flame argument, and Vagrein's spoken about that before, but I did like how this question was phrased, so we'll see if they answer that. What else is up? I haven't been publishing that many videos only because there's so much editing backup for my videos at the moment. I'm going to try to get, today is the 1st, so I'm going to try and get at least videos on the premiere schedule this week, but I'm leaving town again on Thursday. It's my birthday. And I'm heading off to Venice to enjoy the weekend there. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I don't know if I'm going to get the editing done, and that's okay. I have faith that you guys are going to stick around anyway and enjoy what's already on this channel. There's so much content. And if you have already watched all of it, well, then go back and watch it again, because it's always bringing something new to the table. So, but I will try to get you guys some new content ASAP. And of course, there's still the entire Vagrein retreat for me to edit and figure out what to do with. I believe it's going to be available to the top level members on the membership site eventually. And in the meantime, maybe I'll be publishing some clips or some sneak peeks. I did publish one earlier this morning, which I don't know how that did, but whatever. We'll check it out later. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. A couple of sneak peeks of the retreat. Now, I'm ready to get into channeling. I'm not going to draw a card today. I don't have... my painting's turned funny. Anyway, I'm not going to draw a card. I'm just going to get right in on it. And I'm not sure if it'll be involving also a meditation or what the situation is. It feels like it's a pretty direct channeling scenario for today. I'm just double checking when my next appointment is afterwards. Okay, perfect. All right, so I hope you guys absolutely enjoy this channeling session. I'm going to pop into trance, and I will see you again soon. Thank you so much for being here, by the way. There's a lot of you here today, so I'm super excited. Hi, let's get going with the channeling. Okay. Good now, too. There is always more to explore, to learn, to play with in your individuation. questions are always the same. How do I? How can I? The answers are always the same. You choose. You simply choose. Now, we know the simplicity of that response is very irritating to you. So, the question takes much importance because the answer is not what is wanting to be heard. Seems so effortful to simply choose. Much easier to look for answers. We agree. Because in the choosing, you have to let go of everything that was serving you from that choice that you claim you do not want. The question of whether or not the law of attraction can work against your desires. It cannot in any way whatsoever, ever. The universe in itself cannot ever in any way work against your desires. Again, extreme to you, perhaps, to hear these words. Because, of course, you did not choose the disease. You did not choose the ruin. You did not choose the war. You did not choose the horror. So, why would the universe deliver these things to you? The illness, the accident. It is because you are multidimensional, multifaceted beings. You did not only want one thing, you also wanted the learning that went with whatever it is you are experiencing. So to speak to our friend's question directly, an intention, a desire was set out loud, perhaps, to experience the world more fully, to experience travel, to experience delight, to experience connection. And then, lo and behold, here comes circumstance. Circumstances that, well, cancel all of those plans. Mobility is reduced, therefore travel is not on the cards. New connections are not as readily available because if you are not in the right place in the right time, how can you meet the right people? Yes, we agree. Circumstance does seem to go directly against the intention. But what is that circumstance providing? What growth is occurring in the not being able to go on the trip, not being able to believe, to connect to others? What is happening in that meantime? Something else. And understanding that if one does want to have their dreams come true, that it is okay for the circumstance not to be in perfection. That it is okay to have the hiccup to overcome. That unconditional desire requires unconditional action or unconditional behavior. Now, we are not saying to take a trip when you do not feel like taking a trip, but we are saying that taking a trip is not the only way to happiness. Unconditional joy, unconditional playfulness, unconditional delight, unconditional fun, unconditional connection. Because there is nothing preventing you from the result of the thing that you want before the thing that you want has ever risen to you. So we have no doubt that this being will eventually travel, will eventually have the adventures that they are wanting. But what will occur first is whatever they believe those adventures were going to lead to will become accessible before they even leave their home. The law of attraction means that you are constantly attracting everything you are wanting and needing. And it is based upon your frequency in what ways those things will be delivered to you. So yes, the higher you are vibrating, the closer you are vibrating to your true self, the easier the path is. The less catalyst, the less lessons you need to go through to get to where you are wanting to go. which is why we do say to simply choose. Because if you do choose already to be there, already to feel as you would feel on the trip, and this is what is taught to you, then you do not need all the bumps and the detours that will convince you that you do not need the trip to feel the way you want to feel. Feel the way you want to feel before the trip, and the trip is guaranteed. Feel the way you want to feel, even with the news that the trip has been canceled. And you are guaranteed to ultimately feel the way that you want to feel, which is all that you are interested in anyways. So, yes and no. Yes, your circumstances could seem to be not of your preference. But if you are able to frame each and every circumstance that arises to you as wonderful because it is leading you to what you truly want, if you can listen, then you will no longer feel that pain or struggle of being or perceiving of yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time. We can segue directly into the second question that was asked. You did say that the relationship that you were experiencing was not conducive to what you were wanting in your digital experience. Therefore, you ended it, but it feels as if the energy has not let you go. That is because you are not letting go of the energy. You have given some significance and importance to this particular relationship and labeled it as such, and therefore are choosing to have it serve you more, to not let it go than letting it go would be. We guarantee you that even if you were to emotionally let go of this other being with whom you are not wanting a relationship, you would find that that other being would still exist, would still be one of your soul family, would still be someone that you care about or love even. But you would not need to invest so much energy within them. It seems simple, but it is only because you are giving significance to this being over any other being, over your local garbage collector, that you are feeling residue from that relationship ending. Relationships do not end. They serve you whether you are in proximity with the being or you are not. You are choosing for this relationship to serve you by allowing you to feel what it feels like to feel out of control. Because it is very uncomfortable to feel out of control of your emotions or of your heart or of your relationships. And in your ability to feel out of control, which it is ability in that you are choosing it, you are also simultaneously learning that you do have ultimate control over what you do with your heart. It is not that someone makes you fall in love with them. It is that you fall into love with them. You choose it. In the same way, you can choose to love that person and not give them any significance or importance beyond what is the correct thing for the incarnation you are in. You will bump into people who will impact you tremendously, who will trigger your ability to love tremendously, who then will not be appropriate in your desires for what you are wanting in your relationships or in your life. And this is correct for this to occur because it is almost as if there is a natural exposure for you of your capacity to have emotion for another self, your capacity to have emotion for yourself. And these beings are not meant to perhaps be in your day-to-day experience because they would distract you from your love of self and your ability to share your love unconditionally with all other selves. Focusing upon one being is extremely distracting to your purposes, to your themes, and to everything else you would like to do in your life. Therefore, any sort of what you called go south of that relationship was built in and orchestrated by both of your higher selves in order to be in the most benefit for you. It is in the most benefit for you because in the freeing up of that lovely energy that you had for that other being, you now have the ability to choose where to place it, not being distracted by their wonderfulness or their beauty or their significance to you, but instead, in a more holistic way, being able to redistribute that through all of the beings that you are here to serve. It does not mean that this relationship needs to end on your love level. if it cannot exist in physical form, it can still remain as a pillar for you. A knowing that somewhere out there, there is a being with whom you do have a deep connection, with whom you can understand that you are all one. And simultaneously, that does not mean that you should diminish the preferences that you have in your own life. That does not mean that you should abolish the boundaries that you have for your individuation. It does not mean that you should tolerate behavior that is not appropriate for you and does not make you feel good. It does not mean that you should forsake things that you have created in your life that are important to you and continue to do so or are. And so you can know that you are capable of loving unconditionally both yourself and another self. And that does sometimes mean having the distance from them. In order to heal one's heart or to have that calm or that space of allowing yourself to let that person go more fully, you can lean upon rituals. You can, for example, and we do suggest this at times, perform a cord cutting ceremony where you do take those energetic connections that you can see in your mind's eye and you do sever them. We will tell you also that in the same way that you can cut off branches of a plant, and at times that does allow that tree or that plant to thrive more fully, the pruning of the things that are not serving any longer, the aspects of it that are not serving any longer, it does not mean that those connections will not grow back. It does not mean that they are severed or dead or fatalistically removed forever. What it does mean is that you are taking upon yourself the responsibility to protect yourself, or not even protect yourself, but to give yourself what you are needing for your thriving. And in doing so, you are allowing whatever it is that that plant is, whatever it is that that tree is, whatever it is that that bush or shrub is, to grow in the next most holistic way for it to do so. Mourn whatever it is you need to mourn. Allow yourself to feel whatever feelings you need to feel, but also allow yourself the freedom of knowing that even if that relationship is not what you had hoped it to be, is not able to be sustainable in a format that functions for both of you, that nothing has been lost. That you are still indeed, yes, connected with that being, yes, in love with that being, but that is simply a reflection of your ability to love any being. And you can allow that importance to become less while still caring for that other self. In more, what we would like to say to this day, to this now, is that connections are important. You did come here to be your individual selves, your individuations, but you did also create one another to cause yourself all manner of difficulty, all manner of complication. Throw those sticks in the wheels, so to speak, of one another. And in your bumping into each other, you do have an acceleration towards all of the growth that you are wanting. So we do say now is the time to reach out, to look for your group, your community, your ability to interact with others and see what you're made of ultimately. Allow yourself to collect data on yourself by the way you interact with other selves. And in each now moment, see if you are able to choose who you would like to be and choose that beingness over and over again until you truly do live on this planet with these people in the ways that you would want yourself to live if you were already in that ideal society, in that ideal interaction of your human collective, and bring in this now down to your earth the relationships that you expect you will have in some future version when all is well. Because we assure you that all already is, and it is simply a question of your choice. And with that, we leave you with the light and the love of 1,000 suns. Anainai. Whew, hello. Okay, so that that was quite a quick transmission. I wasn't able to pick up on most of it. But I guess I'll listen back to it and be able to enjoy it with you guys. I'm just looking at the comments there, and I see that Sergio is in Toronto. So Sergio, hopefully you'll be joining us at a potential Toronto event on July 15th. That would be awesome. And I'm just wanting to say hi to everybody. Again, hi, and thank you for being here. It's actually a larger number than is normally here at these live things, so that's super exciting for me, and I'm very happy to see you all here. I want to remind you guys that the tickets are already available for the London one-day event, which is a really exciting thing that I'm setting up, and that is going to be on July 23rd. So if you're in London, England, come and say hi and catch up and be around for at least 4 hours of transmissions and questions and answers together in a very intimate setting, and probably some hanging out and getting to know each other and community stuff. So that'll be a lot of fun on that Tuesday. So check out with your bosses right now if you could get the day off, or call in sick, and grab your tickets on my website, www.jpherman.com/events. Like I said, I'm probably setting up another event in New York City and Toronto. I made that face because setting up these events actually is really challenging for me and is pushing me out of my comfort zone. The retreat went awesome, and I had a great support team for creating the retreat, and I have a great support team for creating these events. But honestly, guys, like most things for me, I don't generally know what on earth I'm doing. All I know is that Vagrein is pushing me to get out in front of you guys in person, and that I am traveling in the next little while. And so there's this possibility. So I'm looking at August 7th for New York City, and August 15th for Toronto. And so that'll be super exciting. And Sang, sorry if I am pronouncing your name wrong. My brother actually lives in Sydney, Australia. So who knows if at some point I'll be heading out that way as well, and checking out you guys over in Oz for another event. I think that'll probably be like more than a one-day thing, because it seems like awfully far to go for less than a day. You know, I mean, of course, the event, I can stay there for as long as I'd like. Oh, also, guys, there's the Boulder, Colorado event with Gaia, the network, the television network. That is on October the 19th of this year, and that is through Gaia. Bashar will be there. So with Daryl Anka, Teo with Sheila Giletti. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I always say it wrong. And Lee Carroll with Cryon so far. There's supposed to be a fifth channeler. I'm not sure who it is yet, but we're looking at Cryon, Bashar, Vagrein, and Teo. So that's a crazy lineup. I mean, I'm even excited about the rest of the lineup, and I'll see if they'll let me hang out in the audience. I'm not sure if I'm even allowed, but I'll try and figure out how to do that. And I hope to see all you guys there at that event. So grab those tickets. I did put a link on my events page, but those tickets are through Gaia only. So you have to, go with them. There's a discount code for my family, for my group, for my friends and family here, and that's Vagrein. So it's Vagrein, and you can get $99 off the tickets that they're selling. And then I'm going to most likely be doing an event on the 20th of October in Boulder, Colorado. So there's so much coming up, guys. I feel like I'm on like a world tour and there's a lot going on. So that's super exciting. And I just want to let you guys know. And if you've already got tickets to that, I'm going to see you there and set up the Colorado event as well. Again, if you guys are in Boulder or near Gaia or know about these areas, do get in touch with me, because I do need help planning this stuff. I'm, again, just following orders here. And, like Vagrein tells me to do stuff. And then I have to, choose if I'm going to agree to that or not. And I've learned that it is sensible to allow their energy to come through, because then, I'm closer to my higher self, and there's nothing but success down the track for me. So I love you guys. I will see you again soon here on what are we on? You're on YouTube? see you again here on YouTube and in person, hopefully. So again, there's those early bird tickets for the London event are available till July 9th. I hope to see you there. Mwah, and have an amazing day. Okay, bye-bye.